One of the biggest advantages of the Dataverse as opposed to SharePoint is its ability to deliver fine-grained permissions on the data that you want to share with people. And in this video, I'm going to show you really quickly how you can set that up at the table level, but also at the column level. Before I start, I think it's important to address something that I talked about in another video about this very topic, and that is that Microsoft will offer you many different ways to do the same task more often than not. And in that video, I showed you how to set up the table using Power Apps and how to set the table security roles using the environment screens, the environment admin. Now in this video, I'm going to show you how you don't need to go to those two different locations, but in fact you can do everything through the solutions option through Power Apps. Let's take a look at a solution I've already set up, and it's called the LMS Dataverse because this is a learning management system with some tables and also security roles and permissions assigned. When you create a new solution, you can add things to it. And this is the central premise of this video, is that the solution is the bucket into which you put all of the required components for your solution in the product sense to function as you wish it to. And things like security roles and column level security should form part of that solution if you are going to move that solution from one environment to the next. And here's how you set it up. At the basic level, as you see here, you might have an application, a flow, a whole bunch of flows. You can either create them on the fly here, so we can create brand new apps, we can create brand new automations, or you can add existing apps and automations and other things from this menu here. So for my app, I created it, I pulled it into the solution. Then, if you want to, you might have created a table outside of this solution that you will use for a learning management. So a course table, for example, you can simply go here and add that existing table. You can search for it in the normal way. Now, of course, I won't find the word course because I've already added it to my solution. But if I had a table called John's course, for example, it would show up in this list. All you do is you find it in the list and you add it. Alternatively, again, it's a mirror of that menu there. You can add a table at this point. So you're not using the Power Apps menu per se, you're using a different way into it through the solution. And the same is absolutely true of all those things that you've done before to set up permissions, the security roles around your tables. So in the first video that I did, I showed you how to create a security role by going into the environment admin. Here, it's as simple as going into the menu, clicking security and clicking security role. And you'll see a very familiar tab where you can give the role a name, you'll choose the organizational unit and you will save it. And what that will do is instantly add it to your solution. It will also instantly add this to your environment. So you'll see here, it's taken me to the screen that actually sits inside the environment admin, but it doesn't look like it does here. But we can simply search for the tables that we want to align that security role to from here. So for example, I want to set that up on the course table. I can click course here. I can then go through the permission settings, choose the pre-baked ones or choose any options that I like there. For this one, let's just choose collaborate so you can see it working. So now that is done, I can go back. And that role is in my solution now. You will see there it is, course setup and admin. So when I publish this solution and I perhaps use a pipeline to move that to an environment, that is all encapsulated. It's also all set up on this environment here for me to use in other solutions. So it's a fantastic shortcut to getting these things in place if they're not already there. So what that does, as we explained in another video, is that will allow you to restrict who can view, who can read, who can access different tables in your solution. But what about if you want to go that one level deeper and allow someone to see a table, for example, the course table, but restrict which columns they can see or interact with? Well, again, we can do that through different screens. In this case, the screens are quite awkward to get to. They exist in an old Dynamics classic interface, but through solutions, they're readily available to us. So let's just go ahead and add something that's a security element to this solution. So first of all, we're going to want to go into the table itself and make sure that whatever column we really care about, so let's just say the supplier, is going to be restricted by column level security. I'm all in the solution here, so it's nice and easy to access. And we can see down here we've got enable column security. Let's enable that. So I've just edited that course table and now I want to go and create a security profile for a column. Let's call it course setup restriction. You'll have your naming conventions, you'll have your reasons for doing this, but I just want to show you the basic premise. So here it's now detecting which columns are available for us to apply a profile to. So we chose, I think it was course supplier, and there it is. That column can be attributed to this security profile. So we can select it, we can edit the permissions that might be allowed, and we also have here two columns. We can add teams to allow them to be part of this restricted view, or we can add individual users, and that's just simply a case of selecting the right individuals or groups that you want to be in that profile. I'll just add a test user in here for now. Now that test user is done, we have the profile set up, as you can see here, and we have the security roles. We have a number of these in this solution, but let's not worry too much about that. This is the demo solution. So what we can now do is publish those customizations, and whenever that individual user logs in to do anything with that table, those restrictions will apply. And that's all there is to it. It's part of your solution. Get used to using solutions because they make your work much more portable, much more contained, and actually much easier to support in the future when you've got to go back and adjust things.